You know when it click through to the send it's about to be a slow beat vibe. Everybody know the drop when I'm in it. Drop the top when I'm in it. Everybody drop when I'm in it. Yeah, I go so slow. Everybody know I'm on. You know when it click through to the send it's about to be a serious. I'll be coming up hot for a minute. Everybody know the drop when I'm in it. Drop the top when I'm in it. Everybody know the drop when I'm in it. Yeah, I go so slow. Everybody know I'm on. You know when it click through to the send it's about to be a slow beat vibe.
They were good students.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and get the graduation started now. Thank you for joining us for CESS graduation of class 60. So we're going to go ahead and just start off with how the course is run, what these guys started off with, and how we ended. So usually the first couple weeks that they're here in the course, we go over a lot of law and regulation, right? We want to get to the fast stuff, but we have to understand legally and ethically what it is that we're here to do and what it is we're here to execute as security people who are out in the field serving our clients. So in the beginning, we go through guard card, we get you in arrest and control, we kind of get all your licensing together, and then we slowly move on to the mats and we begin our combatives training. What happens there is that it's not just about the combatives training, it's also about seeing what type of individuals we have before we go ahead and hand you guys live firearms, right? So a lot of it is about the discipline. Do you stop when we say stop? Right? What sort of student are you? How do you behave when you get hit? Are you someone who becomes frustrated, or are you able to kind of stay on task? These are all valuable things to know about someone before we get into sort of the faster side of the training program. So on that in that case, in that instance, this group was exceptional in that case. Sort of all across the board, every single one of these individuals is very capable of leaving this academy right now and and getting into their career right away. So what we have here today, I'm going to try to sort of keep this brief and talk a little bit about each individual who came through here. We have 12 very, very unique individuals in this particular course, and we're going to kind of get to know a little bit of them. So this individual right here, he came into the course with excellent combatives, military, and bail recovery background, and it showed all throughout the course. Guys call him Larry. I prefer to call him Luigi, which is his actual name. Luigi displayed an excellent combination of poise, intelligence, and technical ability. He's definitely quite assertive and in control. Luigi can do whatever he wants in this game. His instructors, we all know that he's going to do great things. He's already doing great things. And considering that we're dealing with already a very experienced individual, the fact that he came here with such a student's mentality, that is what was really most impressive, because not all the time, but often whenever we're dealing with a student who's already bringing a lot of technical expertise in here, I'd say sometimes 50% of the time we're fighting the guy's ego before we can even start to teach him anything. And Luigi didn't have any of those issues. And I really personally, and all of his instructors, really appreciated that about him. Never talks about himself unless you ask him about himself. And he definitely displayed a lot of our core, well, all of our core tenets here. He's quite assertive and in control. I know that I hope to see him in the field. Me, his instructors, who we are all active executive protection agents at the time, we all really hope that we see Luigi out in the field sometime real soon. Luigi Bisconti. Speaking already.
Nice job, Larry. Oh yeah.
Okay. You see, I told you he's quiet. He's quiet. You're all welcome to say a couple words right here. You are also allowed not to. So I'm actually doing this alphabetical order. So our next individual right here, he's definitely a physical presence, very hard to ignore. I kind of just called him Brian all throughout the course. We didn't make any nicknames for him or anything, but he made he made huge improvements on the range and on the mats. Very engaged in the classroom as well. Brian was also great during force-on-force training, and he displayed great poise and control during complex scenarios that we threw at him. Brian has a very bright future in this industry as well. If he really continues his training and he really stays on the path and does all those things, the sky's really the limit for Brian. It's interesting, you know, Brian is a pretty gregarious guy, very funny guy, but he's not loud. He's very quiet, and he's also assertive and in control. And we appreciated that about him all throughout. Very, very tough guy on the mats yesterday. I saw it. I saw it. He stayed out there, and when the tough got going, he kept going. So we appreciate that about Brian. Real tough guy with a very, very bright future. Brian Brown. A couple words, quiet.
Quiet.
That's all right. So now this class, they noticed them about themselves. We noticed this, but they like to mention it quite a bit amongst themselves. We had no shortage of giants in this class. 6'3", 6'4", 6'5" guys. Lots of big guys. They definitely know it. And they definitely mentioned it quite a bit. This next individual is definitely one of them. His name is Amir Bam. Amir made huge improvements on the physical side of things. Amir lost a good amount of weight. He came in here, big guy, trimmed up while he was in here. However, Amir's strengths for me really came from his intelligence, his professionalism, and his demeanor. Those are really sort of the things that successful agents need. Tough guys, guys who know how to fight, guys who know how to shoot, all these types of things. Those are certainly good skills. We certainly need them, but there's no shortage of those types. There are many people who come in and out of the security industry who have those types of physical skills, and they don't succeed. I'm almost 20 years in this game, and I've seen plenty of those guys come and go. It's really the professionalism, the demeanor, and the intelligence that is going to help Amir go forward in this game. He is also a very tough guy. I tried to take Amir out yesterday. I'm not going to lie. It's true. I really did. I really did. But he stuck with it. Extremely strong. We hope he hits the ground running. He has a very bright future ahead of him, and he is definitely quiet, assertive, and in control. Mr. Amir Bam.
Good job, Amir.
I'm not gonna say a lot, but to you guys, killed it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna miss all of y'all. Love y'all. Can't wait till y'all get out there. You know, good job. Good man.
So this next individual, another abnormally sized person for this group. We didn't have any nicknames for this guy either. We all just kind of called him Jared, Mr. Jared Davis. Jared came in great shape, and he had great combative training that he brought in from before. or he's a natural. Either way, he told me he didn't have tons of experience, that he had done some training. I've heard that before. He definitely displayed a high aptitude. He also just looks like a fighter when he's out there on the mats and he's moving around. He really does have that poise about him. Yesterday at the final, we definitely pushed him, came forward. I tried to challenge him in maybe some ways that he hadn't been challenged by his students, and he really stuck with it. He's one of those guys that when he gets hit, he wants to understand why he got hit and how not to get hit again. And that's a very big thing that we can use to our advantage. So extremely intelligent, very engaged in the classroom as well. If he carries that mental toughness into his career, if you use that mentality and you use all of those advantages that you have, if you take your career as seriously as you took this course, the sky is the limit. There's no doubt about it. The point of this course is to kind of set you on a path, right? You're in here. It's easy to pretend that you are professional. It's easy to pretend that you have poise. It's easy to see these words and say, okay, while I'm here, I'm going to be quiet, assertive, and in control. And maybe if you weren't those things before you came here, hopefully you take these things and it puts you on the correct path. And you use the mentality and the intensity that you picked up here, or perhaps that you improved upon while you were here, and you apply that intensity now to your career and to the rest of your life. You're going to be extremely successful. Mr. Jared Davis. Mr. Jared Davis. Okay. This next individual, he's one of our favorites. His name is Mr. Kevin Foley. Kevin had the unfortunate role of comic relief throughout the course. Okay. And while we did have a couple laughs at his expense, here's the truth about Kevin. This is not someone that you want to trifle with. I'm going to tell you that right now. He is a very serious individual. Kevin was incredibly dedicated and disciplined throughout the course. He made the biggest improvements on the mats, in my opinion. As someone who came here in the beginning, good athlete, very in shape, very strong, but lacking in maybe a little bit of combatives technique and coordination, displayed tremendous dedication in the amount of time that he was here and made big, big strides. That is my opinion and his instructor's opinion as well. He definitely developed very serious power in his hands, which I was not expecting yesterday while we were at the combatives final. I watched him during combatives prep and he was hitting pads. I was like, wow, what an improvement. And then I tasted one of these shots and I was like, wow, Kevin's going to be fine. Kevin's going to be just fine. Kevin is another guy who I did also try to take out yesterday. He took some really, really big shots to the body. He really did. I put them right where they needed to be. Matt also put them right where they needed to be. And other than his facial expression, nothing changed. Okay? He kept coming forward, right? Which is what you're going to need, which is what we're all going to need every day from here on out, and even today. We need to keep pushing. There are going to be challenges. It just is what it is. This is a challenging industry. This is a challenging industry to succeed in. It's a challenging industry to get into. It's a challenging industry to stay in because your margin of error is so small. That is the issue with this game, is that you can have everything in spades, but one small mistake and you're done, and you get put on the shelf, and you get jobs and employment that your skill set exceeds. Okay, so Kevin has that correct mentality. He gets hit and he keeps on coming. When he gets his mindset on something, everybody's got to be careful. The sky's the limit. Mr. Kevin Foley.
Drop it out.
I just want to thank all my brothers out here. Y'all made this. Sorry, I'm not going to swear, but one heck of a ride. I mean, the bondage we made here, it brought me back to the military, and I mean, I can't even thank y'all enough. Like, y'all are brothers for life, and I can't wait to see what we're all going to do because we're all going to definitely stay in touch. Oh, and I love my wife and son for coming out. Thank you.
All right. So our next man here, Mr. Sergio Gonzalez. Oh yeah. So Sergio's one of those guys that you just can't sleep on. He does have a lot of gray man qualities. You can put him on an advanced team, a close protection team, and he'll thrive. Now, Sergio did surprise me a little bit with his choice of firearms. Okay. You know, and I tried to talk with him a little bit about it and whatnot. But I kind of just let it go. I was like, let's see where this go. It has been a while since a student has brought a dirty, hairy gun to the academy. But hey, you know, stopping power is stopping power, right? It is what it is. However, in the end, ultimately, Sergio displayed great proficiency with the wheel gun, and that's pretty impressive. If you can master the wheel gun, the semi-automatic shouldn't be an issue. Maybe try a Glock, but I mean, it's just give it a try. You know, maybe it's. Please consider it. Please stay in touch. I'd like to know where this story goes. So Sergio did also make big improvements on the mats. I'm really hoping he caught the combatives bug. If you combine your already existing professionalism and the proficiencies that you brought in here and you add combatives to that type of thing, I think you'll be an even more impressive candidate already and help you separate yourself from the other applicants who are coming after the clients that you're going to want to acquire. And Sergio is without a doubt quite assertive and in control. Mr. Sergio Gonzalez.
Yeah, Sergio. Seriously.
All right. This next individual, Mr. Derek Hallbrook. That's right. I feel the same way. So, Derek is a very impressive individual. He's a young man without a lot of the weaknesses that I had at his age. He came into the program in great shape with some good combative skills. He's also one of those guys that just looks like a fighter when he's out there moving around on the mats. Derek was also excellent on the range and had tremendous runs in the shoot house and in force-on-force training. I didn't put this in my speech. Okay. Derek is not quite over the death of Heath Ledger. We're all still dealing. It's a day-by-day process for me as well. Derek is taking it a little bit harder than most. However, this young man really, really did impress me. When I was young, if I had come into a course like this, I think I would have had a lot of difficulty. And I know you're not that young, but you are pretty young for me, right? So you are young in that way. But he really did display a lot of maturity, leadership, toughness. On the final yesterday, you know, I came at you, you know, I was trying to knock that blue out of your hair, you know, but he's just one of those guys that kept on going. And I'm also going to say this about this class. I know we're talking about Derek right now, but I want to say this about this class. The combatives final is important because it really is a character testing thing. And I have, at this point, conducted, I think, over 50-something combatives finals. And it is extremely rare that we have a group of individuals who, during the combatives final, does not take a knee, does not get knocked down, does not run out of the room to deal with their nausea, any of those types of things. This group didn't do any of that. Derek definitely did not do any of that, and we pushed him real hard yesterday. Very impressive individual. We hope you stick in the security industry. The world is really open to you for whatever direction you want to go into. But we think your instructors, this institution, we think that the security industry is definitely for you, and we definitely would like to see you out there one day. Mr. Derek Hallbrook.
John.
Right. So first off, big thanks to my family, my parents, my sister. I mean, they taught me everything I know. Grew up with that. And the next, the instructors here have been great. But biggest, I mean, the guys. All these guys were absolutely amazing, wonderful. We had some great moments of bonding, and you guys have taught me so much. And I look forward to seeing you guys around. And I'm just glad we made those connections and got that network going. You all have taught me so much, and thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Okay, this next individual, another large individual, Mr. Nick Keii. So, Nick, definitely a physical presence, came into the course with tons of combatives training, and it definitely showed on the mat. There he is. It definitely showed on the mats. Very, very impressive individual. Nick is also already a successful fugitive recovery agent whose business is thriving out in Arizona. Nick also displayed great leadership qualities throughout the course. Whether he goes into the security or fugitive recovery route, he'll succeed and do a lot of good for people either way. Nick also kind of reminds me of myself. He simply has a set of values. He felt a calling towards a particular industry or even towards a particular way of life, whether it's security, fugitive recovery, policing, whatever it is. You simply feel that you are valuable when you are in places where something could go wrong. And Nick is one of those guys. He simply feels that way very strongly. He puts himself in these positions. He trains. He stays training. Also, a very talented artist. I know that maybe not all of us know this about Nick, but he is an incredible stoneworker. I got to speak to him about that. I'll gladly join you any one of these days. Like I told you, go out and I'll do whatever you tell me to do. Because if I could do what you could do from an artistic standpoint, I think that my life would also be greatly improved. So definitely a warrior, poet, artist, all of those good things. Nick was a pleasure to instruct. His instructors know that he will also do great things out there. He's definitely quite assertive and in control. Mr. Nick Keii.
Um, Thank you to my wife and kids for coming out today. Everybody that's showing support for these guys, they did a really good job out here. I mean, that's an understatement. The camaraderie that we had in that house, wasn't it a good group? I mean, we're like that. It was unbelievable. So this experience for me has been unbelievable. I'm gonna tear up. I love you guys.
There's no crying. If you cry, I'm going to cry. So don't do it, okay? All right. No, good, good. All right. Okay, so our next individual right here, Mr. Aaron Ransell. Aaron impressed me and his instructors all throughout the course. He's also a gray man type. What does this mean? It means that he can basically do it all and he can float underneath the radar, right? Which is not a given for EP agents. Some EP agents are definitely high-profile guys. You want to make a statement of security, you hire these types of guys. But to have a guy that can sort of do both, he can do the close protection, he can be a presence, and he can do the advanced work, the counter surveillance work, all the other type of work that we do here as agents and just as security professionals generally. Very often, bodyguarding can be something that maybe you don't do as much when you work for a security company because the security industry is so broad. So for Aaron, investigations, he has a tremendous analytical mind. And his analytical mind definitely showed in the classroom, but where we can really see an analytical mind is actually in the shoot house, where you have to make actual decisions about where you're going to put bullets. The margin of error for a security person with firearms is zero. And no one else, not police, not any other entity that is in our world has a margin of error of zero. We do. Okay, everything has to go perfectly when we use force. We have to be correct and we have to be accurate always. So with Aaron's analytical mind, this is something that can really, really help him. He's also in deceptively good shape. Kind of looks like a software engineer, kind of like my brother, you know? Yeah, yeah. My brother's a software engineer. I'm a bodyguard, and it kind of he does sort of have that sort of demeanor about him. But if you wanted to know something about Aaron, you would have learned a lot about him on the mats yesterday. This is another individual. This is the perfect case of do not judge a book by its cover. Now you are a good-looking book already. I'm just saying that in terms of that, deceptively good shape, very, very mentally tough, and definitely quiet, assertive, and in control. Mr. Aaron Rain.
Good job, Aaron. No, I'm Aaron.
Just want to say thanks to my mom and her sister for being here. Thanks to the guys. I couldn't have asked for a better group of guys to go through this with. It's been awesome, and I really love y'all. So,
Okay, this next individual, Mr. Dominic Situm. Man, I've been practicing that for weeks. So Dominic was really a tremendous student. He displayed the student mentality all throughout the course. He is he is a funny guy. He is a talkative guy. He's not against being social, but he doesn't talk if he doesn't need to talk, especially when we're out there and we're doing stuff. He's really all about listening. And when you submit to a training institution, there's really only two types of students that come here. There's students that come here to show us how good they are at what they do already. And then there are the students who come here trying to learn what we're trying to teach. Those are really the two types of students that come here. And Dominic is definitely the latter. He's definitely in here. He was trying to soak up all of the information and make improvements. I never heard, well, we don't do it like this, or I didn't do it like that previously, or any of that type of stuff. Pure student mentality. And those are the types of people who usually take the most from this course and who also usually succeed when they leave here. There's nothing more satisfying to see a student leave here and succeed. That is the most satisfying thing. That is why me and my colleagues do what we do. Okay, we're all capable of doing all kinds of things, but to see someone take the information that you taught them and run with it and make improvements on their life is really the best part about this job. So Dominic also had a tremendous shooting final as well in the shoot house. Very, very difficult final, and he shot at a very, very high level and was also excellent in force on force. He's also no quitter, as we found out yesterday. You know, one of the reasons why I leave it for the end is because why I don't participate in the sparring all throughout the course, and really why I do it at the end is because I really want to feel like I know you. And one of the best ways of learning if you know someone or not is to fight them. It's just it's just a simple fact of life. Someone can look like they're not a quitter and be a quitter, right? And so that's what yesterday was about. Yesterday was not about technical recall. That's not what it was about. And Dominic definitely exceeded my expectations, my colleagues' expectations. He's going to do great things in this security industry. He does need to find an abbreviation to that to his last name, okay? But that's okay. I won't forget him. He's quiet, assertive, and in control. Mr. Dominic Situmbenko.
John. Aaron.
Yeah, nice pump fake. All right. This next individual, Mr. Victor Solis. Victor has the exact type of temperament and disposition that leads to long, successful careers in the security industry. He was absolutely professional all throughout the course, always engaged, never complained. I feel like I didn't hear your voice till we got to the range. He really soaked up all the information. He's one of those guys who could be easy to underestimate if you didn't know who you were dealing with. So definitely has those type of gray man abilities. He can go into those crowded areas or even small areas and be undetected and carry out whatever operation he needs to carry out. I have no doubt in his abilities in that regard. I would also have no qualms about bringing Victor along with me on a close protection detail. No doubt about it. I would definitely want someone like Victor with me. Why? Because I know Victor a little bit better after yesterday. And I was very impressed with you yesterday. You are one tough guy. You really did keep going. Very, very impressive in that regard. If you apply all that same intensity to your career that's coming forward, the sky's the limit for you as well. Mr. Victor Solis, quiet, assertive, and in control.
We saved the best for last.
We sure do. All right. So, needless to say, Mr. Joseph Yerby is the individual that we're going to be talking about last, but of course, definitely not least. So, Joe is definitely an interesting character. He definitely likes to keep things loose, which on long, hot, and cold days at the range are definitely needed. Joe and some other students also made a little music video while they were here. Okay. And after watching this video, I recommend you all stay in the security game. Okay. I think that's going to be really okay. However, however, Joe did display tremendous leadership. There was a day we were at the range, and Joe goes, "I'd like to have a meeting," and I said, "Go ahead." And he turns to me and Razi goes, "No instructors." And I was like, "Okay." I was like, "Okay, we can do the no instructor thing." So I walked away. I was just out of his eye line, but I could still hear what was going on. Okay, and I didn't expect that. I didn't expect you to take that approach. He told everyone to stay calm, to breathe, to listen to the instructors. Joe gave them nothing but good advice. I was very surprised by that. So that's one of the things, right? I've also been known to be a little bit of the funny guy as well. Okay. However, the humor and keeping it loose, all those things are very valuable, right? However, you do also have to have the switches, right? Didn't we talk about this throughout the course? Having those switches and being loose and comical, that is a great way to be in life. However, Joe also displayed the ability to lock that up and to focus on the task at hand. I know he didn't come in with a huge amount of firearms training, but by the end, it looked like he did. Combatives. Joe's a tremendous athlete. There's no doubt about that. If Joe wants to put in more work in the combatives game, which I hope you do, because that will only make you more formidable. And that's what we're trying to be out here as bodyguards. When someone entrusts you with their safety, with their children's safety, okay, it's no laughing matter in the end. Okay, it's a serious job. Nobody knows about it. Nobody cares other than the people who are in this game, okay? But it doesn't matter. Other people's opinion, the outside opinion of this industry, of this world, it doesn't matter. We have a job to do, and it's a serious job. And Joe, I feel, is ready to take on those responsibilities, and Joe is already working in the field as an executive protection agent. And that might be the most impressive thing about you, is that you were already out there working. You already had employment, and you just felt that you needed to be more sharp. So you made the decision. It's no small decision to tell a client I can't be here for the next couple months. I need to go train. Okay. That is no small feat. We are on an employment basis. Your employer can decide that you are not needed. Your employer can decide that, you know what? No, you can't go for 2 months. If you go, you lose your job. Okay? Those are all things that we face. We don't get department subsidized training in this game, right? We have to go and pursue the training ourselves. And Joe took great risks leaving his already existing clients to come here and train because he wants to be better. You also bet on yourself, which is very, very impressive. If you're going to gamble, gamble on yourself. And Joe gambled on himself. Joe is quiet, assertive, and in control. And I'm very pleased to give him this plaque. Mr. Plaque.
Um, First, I want to give thanks to my mom and my son who made it here to Kentucky. Came all the way from Kentucky to see me. I ain't gonna cry like Nick, so I'm tighten up, tighten up. But I also want to give thanks to the instructors, man. Y'all were amazing. I learned so much in the little time that I was here. Um, Hold on, bro. And I want to give thanks to my brothers, man. We locked in. Thank you.
All right. Well, that concludes that portion there. So now what we would like to do, we have our top three. We have our. Don't do it, Joe. We have our top 3 students. So we have our number. We have our top 3 students. We have our top gun. We have our second place. We have our third place, which we typically refer to as our gray man. So I'm going to start from number 3. And by the way, these scores, unbelievably close. 0.3, 0.5, 1 percentage point between these 3 individuals. And then if you look at the first 3 individuals, and then you look at the next 9, we're talking about very, very small percentage points. Till the end, the Top Gun Award could have gone to anyone. So that was very, very impressive about this group. So our number 3, I'm going to go ahead and call him our gray man. He had the 3rd highest score overall amongst all of his students, Mr. Nick Keii. Yeah, but you ran before. Yes. All right. It's good stuff. Don't worry. Our number 2 individual, the 2nd highest overall score, Mr. Derek Hallbrook. And we have our Top Gun. Now, our Top Gun this year, we usually give a Sunto watch. Right now, we're mulling over if we're going to give you an optic or a Sunto watch. Maybe we'll leave it up to this individual for the Top Gun. Like I said previously, very impressive individual. It is no small feat to beat a group like this by 2 percentage points or 3 percentage points. But this individual was so consistent, so proficient all throughout, and he really did distinguish himself, Mr. Luigi Bisconti. Oh, yeah, we have a flag. Luigi, come back. Take a picture. One job. Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. So we've handed out the plaques, handed out the awards, we've handed out all that stuff. And graduation here is going to end shortly. And then we all have to walk through that door and we all have to start making some big life choices. You guys made big life choices by coming here. Okay. Don't let coming here and graduating from this institution or being a Top Gun or any of those things, don't let this be the accomplishment. Do you understand? It's not enough. It is a difficult thing that we do here. Okay. You have experienced a very difficult thing. But if you don't go out there and execute, it was all for nothing. Okay. And I don't even mean in the security industry. Okay. Me, of course, I'd like to see you all go into the security industry, and we have our standards that we need to meet on a governmental level. But me personally, I don't really care what industry you end up in or what job you end up doing. I just want you to do it well. And I want you to live good lives that are not filled with stress and anxiety about where is my career, where is my money, how is my family doing, so on and so forth. You've come here, you've graduated. It's a difficult thing. It's a great thing. Most people are not capable of doing it. Most of the people that you're going to encounter in your life who are in other industries, who ask questions like, who needs a bodyguard, or blah, 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 this type of thing, okay? Those are distractions, okay? You don't need those people. They don't understand you. They will never understand you. They don't live your life. Your life is actually more difficult to understand than most people's lives. This job requires tremendous levels of dedication, okay? And it's to do the right thing. We protect people. That's what we do. We're bodyguards. I'm not a property guard. I'm a bodyguard. Do you see? That is the difference. Somebody asks you what you do for a living. Don't say, I'm in the security. Say, I'm a bodyguard. Or I'm a security professional. Say something like this. Okay? And you don't have to explain or justify or whatever it is that you do. Okay? And try to make someone feel better about their lack of knowledge. If someone wants to be respectful and say, hey, what is that like? Or whatever, then you can go ahead. But as someone who's been doing this a long time, people are not going to understand what you do and why you do it and why you don't do something more normal. Okay? And there's plenty of normal things out there. And none of you are normal. I'm just telling you this right now. Okay? There isn't even one normal guy in here. Okay? Including up here. Okay? You can't be normal and do this. You just can't. Okay? You are either getting better or you are getting worse. Period. If you leave here and you don't continue your training, in a month or two, you will be the same person you were when you walked through here on the first day. You must continue your training. It's the only way forward right now at this point, okay? And you're already deep in it. So when you're already too deep, sometimes the best way forward is deeper. Do you see what I mean? You're in the right place. You're in the right industry. You don't need to wonder, is this something that I should be doing with my life or whatever? You came here. You put up the time. You spent time away from your families. Okay? All these types of things. You did these things. Now you need to go and execute and be a cut above. You're graduates of the Pacific West Academy. Thank you. Graduation. CESS 16. All right. Thank you very much. Turn that thing off. Yes, sir.